What matters in life is not what happens to you, but what you remember and how you remember it. No medicine cures what happiness cannot. It's enough for me to be sure that you and I exist at this moment. He allowed himself to be swayed by his conviction that human beings are not born once and for all on the day their mothers give birth to them, but that life obliges them over and over again to give birth to themselves. Sex is the consolation you have when you can't have love. It is not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams. There is always something left to love. Perhaps this is what the stories meant when they called somebody heartsick. Your heart and your stomach and your whole insides felt empty and hollow and aching. Nobody deserves your tears, but whoever deserves them will not make you cry. He was still too young to know that the heart's memory eliminates the bad and magnifies the good, and that thanks to this artifice we manage to endure the burden of the past. Tell him yes. Even if you are dying of fear, even if you are sorry later, because whatever you do, you will be sorry all the rest of your life if you say no. Nothing in this world was more difficult than love. She would defend herself, saying that love, no matter what else it might be, was a natural talent. She would say, "You are either born knowing how, or you never know." But when a woman decides to sleep with a man, there is no wall she will not scale, no fortress she will not destroy, no moral consideration she will not ignore at its very root. There is no God worth worrying about. All human beings have three lives: public, private, and secret. My heart has more rooms in it than a whorehouse. The only regret I will have in dying is if it is not for love. Wisdom comes to us when it can no longer do any good. Time was not passing. It was turning in a circle. Then he made one last effort to search in his heart for the place where his affection had rotted away, and he could not find it. A true friend is the one who holds your hand and touches your heart. It was inevitable. The scent of bitter almonds always reminded him of the fate of unrequited love. The problem with marriage is that it ends every night after making love, and it must be rebuilt every morning before breakfast. The world must be all fucked up, he said then, when men travel first class and literature goes as freight. A lie is more comfortable than doubt, more useful than love, more lasting than truth. He really had been through death, but he had returned because he could not bear the solitude. They were so close to each other that they preferred death to separation. Do not allow me to forget you. Wherever they might be, they always remember that the past was a lie. That memory has no return. That every spring gone by could never be recovered. And that the wildest and most tenacious love was an ephemeral truth in the end. Don't let yourself die without knowing the wonder of fucking with love. He is ugly and sad, but he is all love. No matter what, nobody can take away the dances you've already had. Amputees suffer pains, cramps, itches in the leg, that is no longer there. That is how she felt without him, feeling his presence where he no longer was. She felt the abyss of disenchantment. Be calm. God awaits you at the door. Fiction was invented the day Jonah arrived home and told his wife that he was 3 days late because he had been swallowed by a whale. She had never imagined that curiosity was one of the many masks of love. The adolescents of my generation, greedy for life, forgot in body and soul about their hopes for the future until reality told them that tomorrow was not what they had dreamed, and they discovered nostalgia. Age isn't how old you are, but how old you feel. Crazy people are not crazy if one accepts their reasoning. Only God knows how much I love you. She knew that he loved her above all else, more than anything in the world, but only for his own sake. Never stop smiling, not even when you are sad. Someone might fall in love with your smile. She discovered with great delight that one does not love one's children just because they are one's children, but because of the friendship formed while raising them. Always tell what you feel. Do what you think. She would not shed a tear, she would not waste the rest of her years simmering in the maggot broth of memory. Always remember that the most important thing in a good marriage is not happiness, but stability. Lost in the solitude of his immense power, he began to lose direction. But that afternoon he asked himself, with his infinite capacity for illusion, if such pitiless indifference might not be a subterfuge for hiding the torments of love. Intrigued by that enigma, he dug so deeply into her sentiments that in search of interest he found love, because by trying to make her love him, he ended up falling in love with her. Death really did not matter to him, but life did. And therefore, the sensation he felt when they gave their decision was not a feeling of fear but of nostalgia. Things have a life of their own, the gypsy proclaimed with a harsh accent. It's simply a matter of waking up their souls. There is no greater glory than to die for love. Freedom is often the first casualty of war. 1 minute of reconciliation is worth more than a whole life of friendship. One can be in love with several people at the same time, feel the sorrow with each, and not betray any of them. The secret of a good old age is simply an honorable pact with solitude. Take advantage of it now, while you are young, and suffer all you can, because these things don't last your whole life. Morality, too, is a question of time.